Kia ora whānau, how's it going? This is Rewa Te Kau here. Welcome to Word on Monday. Today we're just going to do a recap on what we've been doing for the last couple of days, and I'm also going to do a part 2 on I am the bread of life that Jesus talks about in the passage of John 6:35. So click a like, share this around, and hit the notification button.
Kia marama hoki koe, ka tūnei muai, tō aro kroria. O tikanga, te atahua o te tapu, te kororia I te wahi.
Well, we've been down at Tauranga Moana this week, attending the Baptist Hui, or the Baptist Union of New Zealand, o ngā hahiri o te roa annual hui a tau. This is the first time we'll be together on a national level, so it's great to see everyone and catch up with friends and family over this 5 days down here at Tauranga Moana. We are camped out at the Mount at an Army Leave Centre just down the road from the Maungi here, and this is where we're bringing our Word on Monday. So the theme for our hui this week, you would have seen by other videos that I put up, was Ngā Mahi Whakamiharo, the amazing acts, or the spectacular acts of God, and just really some reflections and teachings on what He's doing alongside the business side of things, budgets and all that type of thing. But the key thing that I really enjoyed was catching up with the people in the nooks and crannies on meetings, and I managed to catch up with the chaplains. Colin Mason and Rā Koia, really good to catch up with you, and Rā with the work that you're doing down at Tāneatua, and sorry to hear about some of the difficult things that you're having to deal with some suicides in the community, and the relationships to whānau around that place. So bless you, brother. It's always good to catch up. So what would I take away from our hui this week is keep pressing into the mission of God. It's interesting how the agendas of the world can actually sidetrack us from what's the really important thing, and that's to get to know God and make Him known in our communities. Putting flesh to the kōrero, grounding our theology to make it relevant, living out the practices and beliefs rather than just talking about it, but actually living it out in your daily lives. And this is what this channel's about. This channel's really to encourage people in their faith and how King Jesus affects their lives, not only on this Sunday but every day of the week, from Monday through to Sunday, and allow Jesus to speak into the commonalities of what we do, the businesses, the workplace, our relaxation, and he's intimately involved with us, and He wants to be involved with us in what we're doing in our daily lives. And it's out of that relationship and that fostering of that relationship we'll see this spring of living waters flow inside of us. And that takes us to our passage, the bread of life again for this week. I'm doing a part 2, and we want to focus on us to think about the elements in relationship to the significance of bread and water. Just to recap, in chapter 6 there we see Jesus moves through Capernaum. He's actually at the temple when he's talking about this particular, synagogue, and he's teaching the disciples and the crowd there. And so here we have him. He's done a miracle. He's fed the 5,000, and now he's doing teaching on it. As we talked about last week, this is the first statement that says the I am component. him taking the I am, and then the themes that roll out as we're going to see. Those themes, the I am statements, are a direct link to Yahweh, to Jehovah, to the Lord, the Son of God. Those big themes that you see in the Old Testament. Jesus, by him making this association, he's drawing himself in direct identity with God. And why am I saying that? As well, if you look through after 6:35, you'll start seeing a conversation that happens in the synagogue, where the religious leaders are wanting to actually start throwing things at him, and in fact, when he goes even deeper, drink my blood, eat my body. Further on, I think it's around 66 or around there, verse 60 something. There's this turning away. The crowd and the disciples started falling away, and it's just with his 12. So he's calling a cost in relationship to following him. But these ideas of water we see in chapter 4 with the woman at the well, and food or bread, he's not only making an association firstly to God, that he and the Father are one, they are the same. If you believe in me, you believe in the Father, and you believe in the Father, you'll believe in me, and you'll see these work out in the John story. But here, the association with the manna from heaven, God provided the manna while they were in the wilderness, but they're hungry the next day, and so there was new manna. Well, here he's actually touching the heart of our humanity, like the woman at the well, and saying, if those who drink the water he gives, they will never thirst. And now you're saying, I am the bread of life. The human experience that crosses all cultures, that crosses all peoples, doesn't matter where you're from, what ethnicity you are, whether you're Māori, Pākehā, Samoan, Indian, Muslim, wherever we're from, we all have the same need. We need food and water to survive. We're going through a food supply issue globally at the moment. The war in Ukraine is putting pressure on food for the Middle East, and it's a form of control. You create wars to eat. Well, in part, there's this about power and dominance, control. You have rising powers and declining powers, and in that intersection of where those two meet often is conflict, and this transition of moving from one power to another power on a global scene. But inevitably what follows conflict and wars is famines, because the energy is being poured into the war machine and not into the production of food to feed the populace. And so we're seeing that in the world. We're seeing that in the moment. We're seeing it with the high cost of food in Northland, and the amount of we have to pay for basic foods like bread and milk and vegetables and so forth. Hence why we're doing our Kaitaki Marakai, our backyard gardens up in Kaikui in the Northland. But this food shortage, this food problem, it's not an uncommon thing to all of us. We all experience it. You just need to see what happened through COVID in relationship to how people reacted, where you saw gaps in the shops. Strangely, toilet paper, but food became a problem, and the access to that. So that's why we're doing the garden projects, is wanting to encourage people with their own kai. But what is Jesus saying here? I want you to think about why is he starting with the I am the bread of life? Is there a deeper level to that? Is there a deeper meaning to what's going on with his kōrero around the bread of life theme and the water theme? And as I mentioned last time, we opened in chapter 4 with the story of the woman at the well, and in a place where it was hostile for those two cultures to get together. And as she drank, her life changed, and then she brought the town. And then later on in Acts 8, we see when the disciples move after Pentecost through the area and the region, people were already worshipping God, and they just needed the baptism of the Holy Spirit. So there was this inner transformation that happened, this inner place, this movement of what God does inside at a deeper level. And I would advocate and pose that both with the water and the bread, there is something in us participating at a deeper level that goes beyond our physical needs, where Jesus satisfies us, that enables us to look beyond the physical things that we see around us, the agendas that are around us, the political issues that are around us. Because you'll never satisfy those agendas or those political issues. You'll never satisfy. Why? Because all we're doing is dealing with the flesh. We're dealing with the external things. We're trying to satisfy whether it's organisational change, whether it's community change. We have to have a deep change that comes inside, and that starts with the water and the bread. Those foundational things that keeps us alive. And here Jesus is actually saying, for true food, for true water in relationship to both your hunger and your thirst, and he says this later on in chapter 7, he ties this part of the book together by saying, those who drink of me will never thirst, and those who eat of me will never go hungry. There's a deeper level of participation and going into Jesus and taking on him and taking on his values, like we see in Matthew chapter 5 and 6, where that participation and that eating and that consuming happens inside at a deeper level. And it's out of that place we find our true identity. Ko au te taro o te ora. I am the bread of life, Jesus says. Those who come to me and drink will never be thirsty. Those who eat of me will never be hungry. As long as we look to the world system, and as long as we look to the political agendas and the other agendas that are out there for resolution, we will not be satisfied. It'll not satisfy you. I know people who have been on particular kaupapa for all their lives, and they're now retiring or have retired, and nothing's changed for them. And they're still in their homes, in our benches here in this beautiful place, still holding that mawai, still holding the pain. And I would advance to us all that in our surrendering to him, because we have to come to him and eat and drink of him. It's that participating. It's a deep level. That's why the disciples are leaving. That's why our churches are leaving. Yeah, sure, we can blame a lot of the things that have happened in the past, but at the heart of the matter is that there are sinful people that do not want to face Jesus. Why? Because the closer you get to Jesus, the more he requires of us to die to ourselves. It's easy from the crowd, it's easy from the distance to say, yeah, I'm a follower, and yeah. But when it becomes personal, when he calls you into a living relationship, as you draw closer, you have to let things go. You have to let them go. Why? So that you are able to be satisfied both your thirst and your hunger. Nō reira whānau, he kōrero poto tēnei ki a koutou. Mā te atou koutou manaaki, you've been listening to Rewa Te Kahu for our word on Monday this week. Jesus said, I am the bread of life. All who come to him will not be thirsty and will not be hungry. Are you tired of eating the world? Are you tired of sucking on the nipple of the society of this world that's out there and it's not satisfying you? Come to him and you will find rest. Come to him and you will find your thirst quenched and your hunger satisfied. Anei, te kōrero poto o tēnei ki a koutou. He mihi tēnei ki a koutou I tēnei wā, nō reira tēnā koutou, a kia ora mai tātou. God bless you whānau, have a great week, and we'll see you next time.